Awesome. So today, Alana Terry is with us. And fun fact, she is a USA Today best-selling Christian suspense novelist, and she's the CEO of the Successful Writer Academy. She loves helping authors improve their marketing strategies and upgrade their mindset so they can achieve commercial and creative success. I know we're all very anxious to learn about Amazon ads. So Alana, hit it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad that everybody is here. I would say a useful tool for me would be to let me know in chat who's very brand new to Amazon ads and who's got some experience. And while you're telling me that, I will give you some of the benefits and what I love about Amazon ads. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go into the dashboard. I'm going to show you how to set up some of your ads. There's a ton of different types. So I'm just going to show you like the simplest 2 or 3 basic types of ads to get you going, and then give you some resources for if you want to go even deeper. So the resources, we have lots of trainings available. I have a book on Amazon ads. I have a starter course on Amazon ads. I'm going to give everybody a coupon too. We have a full-length Amazon ads course. And then we also have a service where we will make Amazon ads for you. So if you get through this training and like, this sounds great, I definitely am sold on Amazon ads, I don't want to learn it, we can help you with that side too. So before we jump into the screen share, I just wanted to talk a tiny bit about what I love about Amazon ads. So let's go in. I'm going to get my screen up, and I'm just going to kind of show you what we're talking about, where your ads can appear, what they'll look like, and things like that. So let's say that I am searching for good romance books for women, since we're coming up on Mother's Day. So you're looking for a gift for your mom. Good romance books for women. You type that into the Amazon ad search bar, and lots of things can come up. For example, this up here, we call a headline ad, which is really nice. It gets a picture of you or your logo. It's got some of your books. So this is one of the types of ads that you can make. Similarly, when you go through, you'll see anything that says sponsored, the author or the publisher has set up Amazon ads to get these to appear where they are. So you'll see this entire first half of my screen, when I put in a search term, are Amazon ads. And they're all different types, but we'll get into that. So it's really great for visibility. One of the other cool things about Amazon ads is you'll notice the book cover is the graphic. So for people who maybe are interested in running ads, and maybe you've taken some trainings on Facebook ads, for example, those are really graphic heavy. You need to come up with your own graphics. What's lovely about Amazon ads is your book cover is the graphic. So good news for anybody who dislikes making graphics. Another really nice benefit of Amazon ads is you are reaching people where they are searching, and you can get very, very specific. So another type of ad that we can make, let me show you, for example, let me go here to, I don't know, I will go to Rachel Hanna's Beach House book, looking at looks like women's fiction kind of book. Okay, so let's say that I write books very similar to this, but this author with, 25,000 reviews has a lot larger following than I have, for example. So what I can do is I can set up Amazon ads that will appear on this sales page. So first we see an ad for the book that is being sold on this page, but you scroll down just a little bit and Amazon gives you what we often call also bots. Customers who bought this also bought that. And some of these carousels are ads that other people have set up. So again, anytime you see sponsored when you're browsing on Amazon, that means that somebody has set this up as an Amazon ad, either the author or the publisher. So let's look at a few things that we're going to notice. Like I said, it's just your book cover. So for people who are in the process of publishing a book, and you know that you are going to be making Amazon ads part of your process, make sure your book cover looks really nice in thumbnail, right? Because these ads appear pretty tiny. And if I was on like my phone, they would be even smaller. So you want the text to pop. You want it to look really clear, even when it's an inch tall. Second of all, you'll see that some of the ads have a little bit of extra text. So this one says, the next big family saga from Maggie Miller arrives May 31st. Don't miss it. And some of them, they don't have that. I'm going to show you the simplest way, which is to set them out without any text. But here's another cool thing. Every single author whose book is appearing right here is paying nothing for the visibility. You do not pay to get your book to show up here. And this is what I think is one of the best parts of Amazon ads and what makes them really good for beginning advertisers if you're on a limited budget. You only get charged if somebody clicks. So here's Lucy Score's book. If I'm interested based on the cover and I click on it, then this author is going to get charged. But just browsing, you are getting a lot of free billboard space. So when I open up my dashboard, you'll see I've had probably at least 1 million impressions, or, I don't even know. Might be tens of millions impressions, but I only pay if somebody clicks on the ad. And so it's really good for your visibility because you're getting all of these extra eyes on your books and only getting charged if people click. So that's another great thing about Amazon ads. So now that we've kind of seen a little bit of where they show up and what the benefits are, I am going to walk you through how to set up your ads. Polly or Amanda, will people get a replay of this? I assume.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my recommendation. If you're very, very brand new, my recommendation is watch for the first time. Don't open up your dashboard and walk along with me. Watch it for the first time just to get familiar. And then when the replay comes out, you can follow along with the replay, pause it when you need to, rewind when you need to, that kind of thing. So the way you get to your Amazon ads dashboard, you're going to log in to your KDP account. The cool thing is you can also use this if you have a book in your Author Central account. So for example, let's say that, Julie Stamps is here on the call. Let's say that Julie and we run Successful Writer Marketplace together. Let's say we write a book together about running Amazon ads for romance novels. And let's say she publishes it under her KDP account. As long as I claim it in my Author Central account, even if I'm not the publisher, I can run ads to it. But to get to the dashboard, we're going to start at KDP. You're going to log in. It's the same login you use for Amazon or things like that. And we're going to go to marketing. And now we're going to see the section called Amazon ads, and we're going to choose a marketplace. The marketplace we're going to choose is Amazon.com. You'll see there are lots of other countries where you can do Amazon ads. My recommendation is get really good at .com ads and then go into the other English speaking. So that would be UK, Canada, and Australia. And the way you'll know which to start with is, first off, are your Amazon US ads doing really well and making you a profit? Second of all, see who is your next biggest market. So basically just go into your sales data. If you know that your books are really popular in Canada, but Australians don't buy them, then focus on Canada. So focus on the next best-selling market for you. But we're all going to start at the Amazon.com. And even once you branch out to the other countries, unless you have translations, at this point, I don't recommend doing ads to English books in the non-English speaking stores. Okay, but to keep it simple, we're all focusing on .com, and we're going to go to the ads console. All right, so what we're going to do to get started is go to create campaign. And you're going to see a lot of different options. For right now, we are only focusing on sponsored products. And here's a good rule of thumb. Never worry about lock screen ads. I'll tell you what they are. Lock screen ads are on the Kindle, and they are the ad that appears as basically your screensaver. So if you read on a Kindle and your Kindle sits inactive for a while, or you pick it up, the first thing you see will be an ad. In general, people are not browsing for books when they open their Kindle, right? They're looking to read their next book. That's why we're going to completely ignore lock screen ads entirely. We're going to start with sponsored product ads because those are the quickest to set up and in general, the most cost effective. So they're really good for beginners. Once you've gotten the sponsored products, you can try the sponsored brands. Those are the ones that we showed earlier that appear as the headlines right here. And they can be really, really effective. But again, my recommendation, since these are more expensive and a little bit, there's extra steps to set these types up, we're going to be focusing on sponsored products. I would say right now of all the ads that I have running, 95% are sponsored products. So I don't want anybody to feel like this is the version of like, this is the simplified version. And then I'm doing the real like complicated, better version. My school of thought for any type of marketing is if the simplest works just as well or better than the more complicated, stick with what's simple. And that's going to be my goal. My goal is going to be to show you how to set up your first batch of Amazon ads in the simplest way possible. So we have gone to KDP, we've gone to marketing, we've chosen the Amazon ads and Amazon.com, and then we've clicked on create a campaign. And that's how we get to the screen we're on now. So next up, we're going to stick with the sponsored products and go to continue. I will warn people, Amazon is rolling out some cosmetic upgrades to their dashboard. So half of the dashboards, like if we were to all open up this page right now, half of us would have it look this way. Half of us would have it look a slightly different way. There's no changes other than cosmetics though. So you want sponsored products and you want to hit continue. Looks like this is locked up. Let me see if I need to refresh this page or something. There we go. Now it's working. All right. Next up, I want to walk through the different types of sponsored product ads that we can create. The simplest is called, I'll tell you the 3 basic kinds, and then I'll give you a little bit deeper. And actually, this is from the full course that I'll tell you about at the end of our call, but it's got a good visual that's going to help us see the types of Amazon ads. So again, we're talking here about sponsored products. I bet I can make this bigger for you. Okay. And then once you decide on sponsored products, you get 2 choices. You can do automatic targeting or manual targeting. Automatic targeting means that we're just allowing Amazon to choose where our ad shows up. And the automatic ads I love because they're the easiest to set up. And they, in a lot of cases, can be one of the most effective types of ads because they are relying on all of the data that Amazon has about readers. So let's say you've written a book that's very specific. You've written a cookbook for vegan preschool moms. Okay. And let's say that if you were to choose keywords, for example, just cookbook, you can see how that probably wouldn't be the very best type of keyword because it's so broad, right? Or let's say you write 17th century romantic suspense with like a cozy mystery kind of detective feel to it. That would be a lot more specific than using a keyword like romance, right? So what we're doing when we're setting up the automatic ads, which is the first batch of ads I'm going to show you how to make, is we're letting Amazon choose who to send it to because they've got more data than we do. They know who our ideal readers are, and their algorithm is going to work to find us the readers who are most likely to be interested in our books. Auto ads might not work as well for you if you have real limited sales data or if your books are in the wrong category. So if you have real limited sales data, let's say you sell maybe like 2 copies a month or something like that. That would be an instance where Amazon just might not have enough data about your ideal reader to know who your ideal reader is. Or let's say you've just published your very first book and you're so excited. And let's say it's a book for dog groomers, how to start a dog grooming business. It's fairly specific. But you're so excited that you've got this new book out and you've got a huge family network and extended friends network, and they're all so happy for you that like everybody who knows you goes and buys your book. That can also make auto ads not run quite as well for you, because if 50 of your cousins, let's say, go and buy your dog grooming book and none of them generally shop for dog grooming books, that's going to give Amazon just skewed data, right? They're not really going to know who your best target is. But as long as your book is selling decently well, you have put your books in accurate KDP categories, then auto ads can work very well for you. And since they're the fastest to set up, that's the one I'm going to show you first. So we're back in here now. We have selected sponsored products. One more disclaimer is sometimes they don't do it quite as much anymore, but sometimes Amazon changes the order of how all these things appear here. They never change what appears. So for example, if you open up your dashboard when you watch this replay and the first thing it wants you to do is set your bid or give it a title, that's okay, because we're going to get to that part down here. Amazon just, every so often they change the order of how these things appear, but what's in there never changes. So what we're going to do for ad format, we're going to do a standard ad. The custom text ad is the one that we looked at earlier, where it has a little bit of like a blurb or a description here. I prefer the custom or the ads without text for a lot of reasons. I don't think we need to go into every single reason. They work just as well or better, and they're faster. So let's just call that a good enough reason to start with them. So we're going to be doing the standard ad, not the text ad. Next, it's going to ask you to name an ad group. For this, you can just stick with the funny default that it gives you. There's no real reason to have to give your ad group another name. I always stick with just this default here. Okay, next up, you're going to choose your products. So if you just have one book, this is going to be your book. My recommendation is if you've got the Kindle version and the paperback version, go ahead and select both. If your books are in a series, my recommendation is to choose the whole series. So here we go. I'm just going to pick, let's just say that these are 5 books in one of my Christian suspense series, as an example. I'm going to select all of them for multiple reasons. It saves time. It's also really cool. So what I love to see, doesn't always happen, but let me show you another reason. When I set up my ads for my books, so let's go to this one, for example. I get very excited when the sponsored products on my book page are my books. So setting it up with lots, with your whole series can help with getting your ads to appear on your own sales page as well, which is really good, again, for that brand awareness and things like that. So bottom line, select your Kindle version, or if you've got both formats, select your Kindle version and your paperback version. If you've got a whole series, go select all the versions for one series. All right, next up, it's going to ask us about targeting. This is where we tell them if we want automatic targeting or manual targeting. And for this batch of ads that I'm showing you, we're just going to stick with the automatic. This is one where Amazon is going to choose our targets and get our books in front of the people who are most likely to buy it. Here's another good thing. A lot of authors have different issues with Amazon. A lot of consumers have different issues with Amazon. In this case, we can be thankful that Amazon is the corporation that it is, because Amazon will always want to do what is best for Amazon. Therefore, Amazon wants to put your books in front of the people who will buy it, right? Because they make money both ways. They make money when someone clicks on your ad. They also make money when someone buys your book. So that's just one more reason why the automatic targeting is pretty useful. All right, next it's going to ask us to set a default bid. My recommendation is to, they'll give you kind of a suggestion here. Let me go down here. Yep. My recommendation is to, especially when you're just starting out, go like about 10 cents or so below the lowest suggested. So in this case, if the lowest they suggest is 50 cents, go ahead and try it at 40 cents. I think if you've got a real limited budget and you just want to dip your pinky toe in, starting with bids in the 40 to 45 cent range for most genres is a good place to start. And then most genres, you won't need to go too far above 60 to 70 cents per click. So what we're telling Amazon, what this bid means is this is how much I am willing to spend for one person to click on my ad. So like we said, people only get charged if they click here. And so if I bid 60 cents, for example, I'm telling Amazon, I'm willing to spend up to 60 cents to get somebody to click on my ad. And when it saves me money, they will charge me less than that. But that's kind of the most I want to do. So again, if you need just a blanket number, start with bids in the low 40 cent range, and that should probably be an okay starting point. And then you can adjust as you see need. Negative keyword targeting and negative product targeting, the good news is we don't need to do anything with. We're going to totally ignore those. They're optional, and they don't really impact how effective your ads are. So now all we need to do, we just have like 2 or 3 more buttons to push, and we are ready to start our ad. So next up, it's going to ask us for our bidding strategy. This is an important distinction to make. Select the one that's called dynamic bids down only. What this means is that Amazon has permission to lower our bids when it will save us money, but they don't have permission to raise our bids. And so this, especially for people who are trying to be a little bit conservative with their ad spend, which is most of us, is going to serve you the best. It's going to make sure that you're not spending more than you absolutely need to get clicks. All right, lastly, we're just going to name our ad and set our budget and how much we want to spend a day, and then our ad's going to run. So what I recommend is to come up, this is the naming convention that I use. So let's say this is for my Kennedy Stern series. Come up with an acronym for the book or the series that you're promoting. Remind yourself what type of ad you made. So in this case, I've made an auto ad. And then put in what you've said is your bid. So I think for this one, we called it 40 cents. Okay, this way, you really could name it whatever you want. This way, though, you can just see at a glance the type of ad you made, and it's pretty useful. For all the ads, my recommendation is start them today and don't set an end date, and we'll just watch and see what they do. And for your daily budget, we'll just say a $5 a day daily budget, and then we will go ahead and launch campaign. Now, one thing I want to mention is for Amazon ads, it's very unlikely that you will ever go into your dashboard, set up one Amazon ad, and that ad is going to take off and drastically improve your sales to the point where it's really changing the course of your career. Amazon ads can do that, but it usually takes dozens. Here's what happens with Amazon ads. Some of your ads never really turn on. By that, I mean, sometimes Amazon just does not choose to show your ad to a lot of people, or sometimes some people see your ad, but they don't click on it. And so your ad just sort of sits there. Again, the good news for that is it means it doesn't lose us any money. The bad news is that it's not the kind of platform where you scale very quickly. So if anybody is on this call and your goal is, I want to take $5,000 and spend it on Amazon ads this month, that's not a realistic outcome for most people, unless you're bidding so high that you would have no real chance of being profitable. Amazon ads are really good for people who prefer the slow and steady kind of marketing, which I like. I don't like, I would much rather spend $25 a day for months with kind of steady, predictable results than throw $1,000 into something that I don't know if it's going to work or not. But Amazon ads can be frustrating for people because they do take quite a long time to scale to the point where you're, again, getting to that point where your Amazon ads have made a really big difference in your sales and things like that. So we're setting up our first ad, but just keep in mind, in most cases, you're going to set up lots of ads, and some of them aren't ever going to spend money. Some of them aren't going to be profitable, so you're going to turn them off. And some of them are going to work really well for you. And here's the other great thing about Amazon ads is when they start working well for you, they continue working well for you for, in some cases, years. I have some ads that have been running since about 2018, still making a profit, still running. Okay, so all that to say, we've set our daily budget of $5. This does not mean that Amazon will spend $5 a day. And especially if we're bidding conservatively, which we're doing in that kind of like 40-cent range or even 60-cent range, it's unlikely that Amazon will spend your daily budget every day. So think about this as an upper limit, but not to the point where, so let's say we were going to make 5 ads today and each one's going to have a $5 a day budget. It doesn't mean you need to spend $25 a day. This is, again, just the upper limit of what we're giving to Amazon. Okay, I think this would be a great place. I want to show you some of the keyword ads next, but this would probably be a great place for a couple questions. So feel free to throw them in chat if anybody has any. So big picture questions about Amazon, any questions about setting up your auto ads, things like that. So while we wait for questions to come in, I'll just tell you a little bit about what happens once we press launch campaign. You get a lot of emails from Amazon, and most of them you can ignore. And so the first email will say something like your ad is being moderated. Moderated makes it sound like it's in trouble. It's not. It just basically means your ad is in review. And then usually you will get another email when Amazon approves your ad. At the beginning, it can take a little longer. There are certain genres that you do not have permission to run ads for. A couple of them would be too steamy, too much gore on the cover, or something like a thriller book where your main character is holding a gun pointed at the reader. Those are a few of the types of ads that Amazon will reject, but usually, as long as you're not promoting anything like that, your ads will run after they get approved. It can be up to 24 hours. Don't worry if it takes like a day, but sometimes it can be like within a minute. So it really just depends on how fast things go. So your ad goes into a review and then your ad starts running. Okay, let's see about these questions. Questions about difference with business books. So Patty, for business books, it's going to be the same. You just might need to bid a little higher. So maybe your starting bids might be more like start at maybe 50 cents because business books tends to be a more competitive genre, but otherwise it's the same type of stuff. You do get reports about your ads. That's Janet's question. We're not going to dive into all of that today, but I'll show you at the very least what the reports look like and what numbers they do give you. So let me pull it up and then I'll share my screen. Whoops, am I in the wrong? Okay, here is one example. I don't know why it's not showing all of my ads because I have more ads than this. Let me see. But it'll work just to give you the big picture. So what you'll see is how much you've spent, how much you've made in sales. Just keep in mind, this is your retail amount of sales. So if somebody buys your $5.99 ebook, it shows as a $5.99 sale, and you get 70% of that. ACOS is the percentage. So it just takes your spend and divides by your total sales. So the lower the ACOS, the better you're doing. This shows how many orders you've made. And then there are other measures that you can watch as well. You can see how many clicks you've had, for example, and compare that to out of people who click, how many people make an order. That's a really useful number to have. And then, so this is for all of your campaigns overall that appears up here on top. And down here, you can see campaigns for your specific. So let me see. Let's go to spend. We'll look at my ads that have spent money. Because like I said, it's very common to set up a lot of ads. Like you'll see I have a lot of ads that have spent nothing. That is very, very common, which is why we're planning on making more than one ad to really get this scalable. and going. But once you find ads that do spend, you can come down here. So you can look at your individual ads. You can see what they've spent, how many impressions, right? Millions of impressions. So, I was talking about how your impressions are free. Let's look at this real quick. Since I started advertising, 166 million people have seen my ads, and I only pay when somebody clicks. That's pretty cool. So these are some of the numbers that you can keep track of. It's a pretty good way to see how your ads are performing. There's not a ton of limitations to it. I'm pretty happy. It gives you enough information to know whether you should keep your ads running, whether you need to adjust them, and things like that. All right, is there a way to find your ads so you can see it? That, Janet, is the one thing that you can't do. There's no way to kind of find it in the wild. What you can do is you can go and search yourself and hopefully see it there, but there's no button that you can go to in your Amazon ads dashboard and say, show me what this ad looks like. It does show you a preview, but that doesn't really help since they all kind of look the same. You'll notice that we didn't do anything to tell Amazon what we want our ad to look like, right? The format's always the same. It has your cover, the title, your author name, the number of reviews, the price, and then it will also include these little banners if it's a new book, if it's a #1 bestseller, if it's on pre-order, those get banners, which give them a little bit of extra attention. All right, will you tell us what books we should not advertise? Engineering books with narrow readership. Yeah, for Amazon ads actually can work very well for very niche books. What you would do in your case is, so let's say I'm not as familiar with engineering. So let me think of another niche genre that I am familiar with. Let's say I want to do a book about an Alaska travel guide for parents, for example. That's fairly niche. Let's say I've written a book to help families know what there is to do in Alaska. First of all, I can see what other books are here. And there is a way that I can target specific books. So let's say I find an author who writes to the exact same audience. I could use that author as a keyword, for example. So yes, it is okay even for niche books. And sometimes that's even better, right? Because let's say you just write contemporary romance. That's such a broad category that you're competing with a lot of people. And so your clicks are going to be a lot more expensive. All right. What's the relationship of the Amazon book categories that you choose for your title? Yeah. So if you choose the wrong category, that will impact how your auto ads perform. So let's say, in my case, let's say I've written a book about traveling to Alaska for families, but in my in my categories that I choose on KDP, I've called it a suspense novel, right? I don't know why I would do that, but let's say I did. That would be a big mistake because then when I set up my automatic ad, Amazon's going to say, oh, let's show this to other suspense novel readers, which isn't my readership. What about ads for Christian nonfiction? Heard this can be very tricky. No, I don't consider that tricky at all. I think that it's a pretty easy niche, Malia, to get into. The ACOS means you've spent 72 cents for each dollar profit. Yeah, so let's go back to ACOS. The ACOS is the ratio of your spend to your sales. So let me go back to my ACOS. And so, yeah, I have spent 72 cents for every dollar that people have spent on Amazon for my books. All right, you say you may need to make more than one ad to get this going. What do you do differently from one ad to the next for the books you're trying to sell? Yeah, so there are other types of ads. I'll get into that real soon. We can target by keyword. That can be really useful. We can target by category, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Also, though, once you find things that work, you can just make more of those same kinds of ads. So it's not as though, let's say you want a dozen ads that are all running and working well. It doesn't mean that you need them all to be entirely different. So like, let's look at my top performing ads of all time. You'll see some of them are auto ads. A lot of them are auto ads, right? Because they're really, really effective. Here's ones where I'm targeting by keyword. So you can have different ads going with the same type of targets. You'll notice often I'll kind of stagger my bids. So out of my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 5 auto ads that are all performing really, really well for me. And the bids are all different. They don't have to be though. Like I don't make sure that, okay, I have one auto ad for my Alaska series at 52 cents. That means that I am contractually bound to never create another auto ad at 52 cents for the same book. It really doesn't matter. It's just Amazon ads. It's a little bit of spaghetti at the wall. You make 12 ads and let's say 5 of them never turn on at all, meaning they never spend money. 2 of them lose you money, so you turn them off. My general rule of thumb is after it's spent about $10 and you don't have any sales from it, it's okay to turn that off. And then let's say that the rest of the ads do okay. They either make your money back or they make you a profit. Those are ads that you can just keep going. They have a copy feature. So sometimes when I want to make more ads and I'm short on time, I'll just take my ads that have been doing the best and copy them and run both at the same time. The banner ads are a different type of ad. So I will show you when we go to create an ad. To make the banner, it's sponsored brands. It's not exactly that you pay extra, but they can be more competitive. So sometimes your clicks will be more money to have those there. All right, all my books are on Amazon bestsellers last year. They will not have that label unless they're a bestseller today. The data on Amazon will appear when you log in, like how we talked about, and then you just go. So KDP, marketing. So go to your KDP, go to the tab that says marketing, go to the tab that says Amazon ads, and it'll show you a page like this that has all your stats. All right, we have a tiny bit of time left. So how about I will show you the keyword ads next. And then I'll get everybody a coupon code so you can get my starter kit for free. And I will tell you a little bit about our full course for people who want, that one goes a lot deeper into the analytics. How do you know when it's time to pause an ad, when it's time to tweak an ad? And it goes into all the types of ads. But let's take just a couple minutes to show you one more type of ad that you can make. So again, we've chosen standard ad. We've left ad group. We left the same, the default. We've chosen all the books in a series. And now instead of automatic targeting, we're going to choose manual targeting. This is where we get to pick what type of sales pages our books appear on. So what I like to do for keyword targeting, you'll see that they're going to suggest you some, but a lot of them are really too generic, like book. That's too generic. So I go to enter list, and there are quite a few keywords you can do. You can do a genre keyword. So in my case, I might do Christian suspense. Here's how I like to do it to make it really easy. I type in the keyword I'm thinking of, and then I am letting Amazon give me suggestions based on what people are searching for. I click add all keywords, and then I just go back and I'll delete something that doesn't apply. So for example, my books are not in Kindle Unlimited, so I would take away those keywords. So that's one type of keyword. So targeting by your genre. You can also target by authors. I really like doing that. So either targeting your name, that way when somebody searches you here on Amazon, your ads are likely to show up, or you can put in the name of authors who are similar to you. So I might put in Alana Terry, and I do the same thing. I let Amazon come up with all of the recommendations. I add them all, and then I'll just go and see if there's any I need to take out. So like this is Alana Terry paperback books. Let's say hypothetically, my books aren't paperback, so I may as well take that keyword out because it doesn't fit. Or Alana Terry Kindle Unlimited. My books aren't in Kindle Unlimited. Or Alana Terry cloth hoodie. No, I'm not selling hoodies. I'm selling books. And then we can just add all of those keywords. So this is a great way to especially think about search terms. When you're thinking up keywords, think about, okay, if somebody was to come up here, what search terms would I want them to use? What search terms would my ideal readers be using? And those are the ones that you can use there. My recommendation for people who love homework assignments is this: set up one keyword ad that targets your genre, and set up one keyword ad that targets the names of 3 to 5 authors who write very similarly to you. And that should give you a pretty decent start. I don't recommend compiling lists of hundreds and hundreds of keywords. Some people do this. It's a very time consuming for starters. And also, a lot of the keywords you get when you go that broad are not very specific to your readers. So I prefer smaller keyword lists, maybe, like I said, the names of 3 to 5 authors plus the recommendations that come up pertaining to that author's name. And maybe your genre. Those tend to be good places to start. So for people who want homework, my recommendation is going to be set up 3 Amazon ads. Set up one auto ad, which is the first time we talked about. Set up one keyword ad where you are targeting the name of your genre and the recommendations that Amazon gives you here. And then set up one ad where you're targeting the name of 3 to 5 authors who write really similarly to you. Let those run and see what happens. So next up, go ahead, throw in any more questions that you've got, and we'll go through those. And in addition, I'm going to put a couple links for everybody in chat. So first up, the starter kit gives you a video that shows you how to set up your first batch of ads. So similar to what we did here, just a tiny bit more systematically, and it goes into a few more types of ads. So this is a video you can watch 30 minutes to get your first batch of ads going. If you use the coupon code MyWord, you can get that for free. So that is a really good place to start. You can just go ahead and grab that now. And then I'll also, after we get through a few more questions, I'll tell you about our course. I'll tell you about our done for you service too, for people who just want to hire somebody to make the ads for them. But for now, let's see what other questions we have. My genre keyword lavender can apply to a plant, a color, or lifestyle. Yeah. So Susan, your genre keyword really isn't lavender. So in that case, you would need to throw in chat. Tell me what your book is about. And that way I can help you figure out what a better keyword might be. Yeah, because you're right. That's too generic. So we need to come up with something else. Okay, looks like we're actually caught up. How to grow lavender. Okay, perfect. So your genre keywords would be things like gardening, plants, if it's outdoors versus indoors, indoor house plants, outdoor gardening, those would be the types of keywords that you could use. And here's the other thing that's kind of convenient. Amazon does know. So let's say that I'm making an ad for your book and all I put is lavender as a keyword. Amazon is still going to know that I've written a gardening book. And so it's going to show that to gardening folks. So even though we are giving Amazon these keywords, they are still using their knowledge of what readers search for. So like, for example, if I'm advertising my Christian suspense novels and I decide to do as a keyword Amazon ads for authors, Amazon is smart enough that they're not going to be promoting my fiction books to people who are searching for Amazon ads for authors, even if I put this in here as a keyword. So that's good news. The keywords are useful, but Amazon's data will override if we put in a keyword that doesn't make sense, or if we put in a keyword that could mean one thing or another thing. They still kind of know who our intended readership is. All right, Carolyn says, I'm working on creating a book launch planner. I want to include an area for Amazon ads, but I haven't used it myself. Yeah, I'll give you some points of contact at the end on ways to keep working with us and stuff like that. All right, so lastly, let me show you 2 more links for you. The first link I will show you is if you just want to hire someone to do the ads for you, I am throwing in a link right here. What we do is we will set up a batch of 12 ads for one book or one series, and we'll monitor it for you until it's ready to hand back to you. So basically, it's getting you going with a batch of ads and then showing you what you can do to keep them running in the background. Again, great thing that I like about Amazon ads is once you do find what works, they can work for a very, very long time. And then for people who really want to go into all the bells and whistles, we have our full course. So let me find that link. This walks you through all the types of ads that there are to create, plus all of the analytics. So I'll show you just a peek around the course, what you get. So you get introduction to all the types of ads, not just the couple that we covered here. And then we start kind of like what we did here. We start with what's simplest, and then we get more and more advanced as you go on. So we have a whole section on keyword targeting, right? In this call, we talked about it for all of 2 or 3 minutes. This will go over lots more things, how to find good keywords and things like that. Product targeting is where I could go to somebody's specific book and say, I want my ad to appear on this. So let's say that Debbie Maycomer has written a Thanksgiving romance, and I want to advertise my Thanksgiving romance on that page, but I don't want my Thanksgiving romance to show up on her other general romance pages. It's just that one book that she's written. There are ways that you can pick like a very specific book, or there are ways that you can go really broad. Instead of saying, oh, I'm sick of coming up with authors, let me just target people who like cozy mysteries. There's ways that you can target just by genre. And then it gets into all of the analytics, all the stuff that you see in the dashboard. There's a decision tree that's really useful. So once you've got an ad going and you've got some data, how do you know if you keep that ad going, if you need to adjust the ad? How do you know if you need to kill an ad or just tweak it? How do you scale up once you find the types of ads that do work? We get a lot into that. And then a little bit of how do you know if your ads are profitable, right? Because we see all the numbers up here, but what do all these actually mean is really, really helpful. So all the links for those are up in chat. And how about if there's any other last questions, we can take those. Recommendations for book launch. I would start with what's in the starter kit. That's the free one. If you use the coupon MyWord, that's the coupon that will get you into that for free. And that will give you like a basic batch of ads that you can make. And yeah, the link for the 12 ads is actually already up here. And yeah, so it's $250 for us to set up the basic batch of ads for you. Here's a course that is specific to book launching. So the Amazon ads course is really good if you want to go really, really, really deep into just Amazon ads. If that feels a tiny bit too intimidating at the moment, the link that I just threw in chat for our book launch course, it gives you a little bit of a lot of different things that you can do to launch your book, including there is a section in there on Amazon ads. But yeah, so based on what your needs are, if you just want to dip your toe in, you could start with the book launch course or that starter kit. And if you want to really dive all the way into Amazon ads, then you can grab the whole course.
Yeah, this has been awesome, Alana. I learned a lot today. So thank you very, very much.